software for the first time to hopefully be going live on Instagram. I've never used this streaming software before, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see comments. I hope so. But it's the only way I seem to be able to go live on my Instagram. I'm basically in a hotel, and I was meant to be in, hang on a sec, I'm just going to see if this is even, I don't know if this is working. I hope it's working. Basically, I am meant to be in an Airbnb right now, and I'm clearly not. I'm actually in a hotel room because the Airbnb that I was staying in was fucking haunted. And I have been sharing a little bit and like bits and bobs about my trip to the Adelaide Hills over the last few days. But I haven't shared anything about this because I didn't really know what was going on. And long story short, it actually became a huge ordeal. So I'm gonna share the story. I'm gonna share the story of the haunted Airbnb in the Adelaide Hills. It was a stunning Airbnb. It's an 1850s cottage, and it's pretty remote. There was like no mobile reception there at all, which was fine. Like I was happy to do a little bit of a debrief, like get away from technology sort of situation. Until the first night. So essentially what happened was when I went into this cottage, it was like fine. Welcome guys if you're coming in. I'm streaming on like TikTok as well. That's why I'm using the streaming software for Instagram. So when I first got into the cottage, it was fine. I wasn't feeling any weird energy or anything like that. I was quite excited to be staying in this like super lovely Airbnb, like really fancy. And then about 3 hours in to being in the Airbnb, it started to just shift. I was like, there's something off here. And at the time I put it down to bad feng shui. Like the master bedroom had an open staircase just sitting there by the bed. So I don't know if about you, but like I don't want to sleep next to an open stairwell. That's pitch black. That's terrifying. No, thank you. But I thought, you know what, that's fine. I can deal with that. And I ended up putting a big wardrobe, like I moved the wardrobe in front of the open staircase so that I wouldn't have to see it. And I thought, okay, that's the end of that. And I went to bed. And then began what was the fucking craziest 24 hours of my life. I have had emerging psychic stuff happening to me over the last few years. And, you know, if you've been following along here with my work or know my work, I am a professional psychic. I do psychic readings for a living. But I've never had the experience of being in a house that was haunted. And I had a whole family come to me because they needed help with moving to the other side, basically. The way it happened was the first contact point they had with me was through my dreams. So I had this crazy dream where I saw this mother and this daughter, and the daughter pushed the mother down the stairs. That's what happened. The daughter pushed the mother down the stairs because she was afraid of her mum. And I thought, okay, this is rogue. Woke up, checked my phone. It was like 1 a.m. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a long night. But by that time, I was starting to feel pretty scared. I was like, the energy in here is so weird. I have this open stairwell next to me. Now I'm having dreams that like this whole shenanigans has gone down in the stairwell. So I relocated to the front bedroom, which was like the kids' bunk room. That kind of helped make me feel a little bit more at ease. But then the mother came to me, and I don't know if anyone's like, everyone's different. Like everyone's psychic stuff is different. But for me, I see it in my third eye. So it's not like I see a ghost standing in front of me like you would on like a movie or something like that. It's like you can see them through your third eye. So it's like they're there and you can see them there, but not like physically. It's like it's like if you were to imagine something, but your eyes aren't closed, like it's right there. That's kind of the easiest way that I can describe it. So the mother is standing next to my bed. Like, you can't make this stuff up. I was like, oh my God, get me out of this place. And I was really trying to resist it, but I found the more I tried to like ignore everything and just like try and go to sleep, the worse it got, or like the louder they were tapping on me, because they wanted help. And I could see that. I could feel that these entities needed help. So what then proceeded for the next few hours was like essentially they needed help to transition back to spirit. They were stuck in this physical plane somewhere between like spirit realm and here, because they were holding on to all kinds of all kinds of like shadow stuff around the incident of the daughter like pushing the mother down the stairs. And basically what happened was the father in that family, it was a family of 5, I came to realize, because each one of them started coming through, and I started getting more and more of the stories as they were coming like through to me. Sometimes I feel like I may be a spirit that needs to transition. I'm already in between. Girl, relatable. Yeah, sometimes this place. I wish I could show you the place, but I left it. I'm in the hotel now because I was like, I can't do another night of this. I actually ended up doing 3 nights in there, and like every night it got better and better. Like I cleared it all by the second day, but it like the lingering heaviness of the energy was just really full on. So I was like, nah, I don't want to do this. I'm leaving. And I literally was like, I would rather book another hotel room and pay for another hotel room and get the F out of there than spend another night there, like freaking out. But I discovered through the psychic stuff over the couple of days that there was a family of 5 in the 1850s. And the father was doing some dumb stuff. The father was like fooling around, let's just say, in a way he shouldn't have been. And so the mother, as a result of that, needed to deal with that. And in order to deal with that, she started getting into some like weird groups of people. Let's just say some like kind of demonic stuff. Like she was getting into weird rituals and stuff to try and like solve this issue she was having in her marriage. And she ended up unraveling some like pretty dark energy. And because of that, she started to change. Her personality started to change. And her daughter, who was only a girl, like a young girl at the time, she started freaking out. And she was like, who is this woman? She's not my mother anymore. Like something's taken over my mother. She started to become afraid of her mother. And one night, what that led to was the daughter being scared of her mum, who was coming towards her at the top of the stairs, and the daughter pushed her down the stairs and she died. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. And yeah, she was gone. And then that created a ton of shame and like a ton of suffering for that girl for the rest of her life because of what had happened. And so when she left, when she passed into spirit realm, she stayed back because there was all of this heavy energy attached to the life that she had just led. And often that's what happens when spirits like get stuck here. It's because there's something here that they haven't let go of that's holding them down to the physical earth plane. They haven't let go of that, so they can't go back to source. They're attached to the physical incarnation, even though they're no longer here. But not only was the daughter here, but the mother was still here as well, because she was holding on to the guilt of getting involved with all of the rituals in the first place, which all of the weird stuff, which then led to the daughter freaking out and being like, my mum's possessed, and pushing her down the stairs. But not only that, one of the brothers as well, because there was mum, dad, and 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. One of the brothers made himself known to me as well, because he had his own stuff going on. So essentially, over the course of that night, in both my waking and dream state, it was like giving some Jennifer Love Hewitt ghost whisperer vibes, helping these spirits to get back to source. And the conversations that I was having with them was like, you need to forgive yourself. Yeah, I'm glad you found Skylar. It's like these spirits needed to know that they had to forgive themselves. They had to let go of the thing that they were attaching themselves to here, which was this sense of guilt, this heavy guilt energy. And they had to realize and forgive themselves and go back to spirit, go back to source, which I see as a light. And the little girl, she was really easy to help. Like as soon as I started working with her, reminding her of the love that she is and sending her back to source, she transitioned back really quickly. The mother was a lot harder. She was kind of like bogged down heavy here. And it took quite a while for her to like get the message. But it's like, as soon as she did, it was like something completely shifted. Someone else from the spirit realm came to grab her and she just whisked away. And that was that. And it was insane how quickly the energy then shifted from this is fucking terrifying, like I'm sitting there like doing all of this stuff whilst also shitting my pants, like it was scary. It was scary. I don't want to have that experience ever again. But at the same time, the way that how quickly the energy shifted after that as well, when these entities actually went through the process that they needed to. And when I checked in with my own team afterwards, as in like the following day, I was checking in with my own spiritual team being like, why the F did you do that to me? Like, why did this happen? I don't want this during my eclipse period, please. It was because that was like part of my own necessity to face my fears. Because for anyone that's interested in psychic stuff or in the psychic realm in any way, when you have access to this stuff, it can be kind of scary. It can be very scary. And I think part of me subconsciously was like holding on to this fear of like, oh my gosh, what happens if entities make themselves known to me that I don't want to know? Which is very different to like sitting there like channeling my spirit guides or something like that. So by the second day, the energy was completely cleared, but there was this like they were gone. The ghosts were gone. But there was this sense of like lingering heavy energy, which I just couldn't get past. It was like, even though the ghosts were gone, I was like, enough has happened in this place that I'm done. I wasn't really sleeping well then for the rest of the time there, even though I was in the most gorgeous Adelaide Hills, stunning historic cottage. I was like, I just didn't want to be there because it felt eerie, every sound. I was like, I was on edge, So I left. I was like, nah, this morning I was like, I can't do this. I'm not doing the final night. I'm leaving. I'm going back into the Adelaide city. And now I'm here and I'm by the beach and thank God. Thank God. I'm just going to look through some of the comments here. I don't think I can see the comments on Instagram. Sorry about that. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Let me just move this. Okay, I actually can see a couple of the comments. So I'm just going to look at the TikTok stuff. I've been going through so many sleepless nights, a lot of purging and intense energy. Yeah, it's an eclipse period. So like we're still in eclipse period until the 2nd of October, 3rd of October. And even then, like another week after that. So there's a bunch of energy clearing. So yeah, if you've got stuff coming up right now, like especially around psychic stuff, I've been chatting to a few friends around this just over the last few days with this crazy ghost story that's just happened. A lot of psychic stuff is coming up for people. So if you've got psychic stuff like hanging around your field, it may very well start activating or accentuating during this. Yeah, my voice is totally real. This is my voice. And not offended like at all. I'm curious your take, caught in the act, curious about your take on my voice. I mean, I'm a gay man, so I have a fairly effeminate voice. I'm very aware of that. It doesn't match your face. Yes, people don't know I'm gay until I start talking. Do you think the visuals will come, or will our psychic abilities come online? Do you think the visuals will come, or will our psychic abilities come online? What do you mean by that, Skylar? Maybe just clarify. You look like you'd speak elective. Yeah, like I said. Yes, indeed. Well, this is me. This is me, girl. This is me. I don't know. I don't know how sound different how to originally. Yeah, always like. I mean, this is what it's always been like. My voice. I mean, I use my voice a lot, like doing light language, and like I have a whole thing around the voice. So, like with visuals, meaning starting to interact with any sort of spirits, helping us through our own ascension process and transitions. Yeah, 100%. Like, often with ascension stuff, like the most useful spirits that come through tend to be like spirit guides or angels, or even galactic beings. Not so much like past loved ones and like that classic psychic mediumship. It can be helpful if depending on the individual and like what they need and who they need to interact with. But whenever I do any channeled readings for anyone around like their psychic awakening, their spiritual development, their ascension process, like almost always it's spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, galactic team. That's who wants to come in, as opposed to like their deceased loved ones. So like sometimes that happens if the person isn't open to other things and like all they can become aware of is deceased loved ones. But most of the time it's not so much of a mediumship thing. So I would just say to be open be open basically to like what, actually what my team are telling me right now is actually call in who you want, call in who you would like to work with. So for me, I predominantly work with the angels because I feel a resonance with the angelic realm and the angelic energy. And if the angels feel good to you, call in the angels to support you and call in the angels to make themselves known to you. I'm seeing like a bluebird or like a butterfly or like some sort of flying blue thing. So maybe have a look out for that, because that could be the angels telling me that they want to connect to you in that way. But it might not be angels. It could be whoever it is. I'm just going to check the comments in the other chats. Oh, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I had the option to like overlay the comments onto the chat, but some of the comments are like not PG-13, so I won't be doing that. So let me go back to TikTok. This is the first time I've ever streamed across multiple platforms all at once, so it's overwhelming. My sense of smell has become extremely hyper aware and sensitive. Like, wow. And yes, thank you. I'm connected to blue avians. Cool. Yes. Yeah, the blue avians are an interesting. You have a blue avian humanoid. Wow, that's cool. Blue avian tattoo. Yeah, like blue avians are a bit more of a niche. It's weird to say, right? They're a bit more of a niche galactic group, aren't they? Like I think Pleiadians and Arcturians and like they're kind of like the front line of the galactic realm that we like to talk about. But I have worked, I haven't done a lot with the blue avians, but when I was about, this would have been like 4 or 5 years ago, there was like a period of a couple of weeks where the blue avians were coming to me for whatever reason. I can't even remember what it was about. Beautiful energy, but I'm curious what your experience of the blue avians are actually, Skylar, because I found them to be very intellectual. Like their energy wasn't so warm to me. It was more just like very intellectual. It wasn't cold, like it wasn't bad. It was just like they're very intellectual beings. That's how I felt when they made themselves known to me about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't worked with them since, actually. Hi from Gisborne, New Zealand, is it? Is it New Zealand? I would love to go to New Zealand. I actually have a really amazing client in New Zealand, and I would love to go there at some point. If anyone is just coming in, I have wrapped up my story of the haunted house, but I'm just hanging around for chats, and why not? Like chats around psychic stuff. So if you've got any questions around psychic stuff or you're going through anything, like let me know. Oh, hey girl, Queen of Cups. Hey. Yeah, I was meant to be in the Adelaide Hills right now, but because the place I was in was literally full blown haunted, I had to leave. Like I could not stay. Yeah, oh my God, a whole story when I come back home. A whole story. Our understanding of empathy and emotions, I think, would be so different than how they may. Yes, I agree. I don't know if I don't think it is this. Yeah, I would agree with you, Skylar. I don't think the blue avian emotional system is perhaps the same as ours. I certainly wasn't feeling a lot of that. Yes, can't wait, girl. See you when I get back. A lot of light language and seeing lines, circles, and dots. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I actually I'm curious about that. I had a really rogue, I made a TikTok about it actually, like when it happened about 6 months ago. This was freaky, like just on the like on the topic of freaky things happening, like in the spiritual realm. I don't know how the frig this happened, but one night I woke up, this was about 6 months ago. I went to the bathroom. For whatever reason, I decided to sit on the toilet instead of stand. Won't go into the details. So I sat on the toilet, which meant I could see the wall on the other side of the toilet, like on the other side of the bathroom that normally I wouldn't see because I'd be standing and I'd have my back to that wall. But for whatever reason, I was looking at that wall. And for whatever reason, I was like, I don't want the light on. I'm just going to pee in the dark. Don't know why. I don't normally do that. I turned the lights off, and then in front of me, I shit you not, was light codes in neon green. Like full blown light language written down in neon green on my tiles. And I freaked out because I was like, what is going on? And then I tried to replicate it the next night and I couldn't really do it. And I was like, oh my God, no, what is happening? So if things are happening like that, like, girl, I think you're in for a ride. I think, like, as in a good way, like, I think things are opening up, things are happening. Like that's spirit's way of like giving you little hints so that like you can essentially up level your nervous system. Because, it's kind of fun and cutesy to think like, ooh, psychic ability. But like the reality of it is it's a lot to hold, and it's like a lot for your own mind to hold. Because I think the first thing that people do when they have a psychic experience is they talk themselves out of it and say, I'm not crazy, or they're concerned about that. So these little little blips from the spiritual realm to like, it's like training. It's like building your capacity to hold this stuff. Oh, wow. Interesting. Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Who knows, girl, but something was happening that night. I don't know what was happening. It was a lot. It was a lot. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there. I mean, it hasn't been live. I don't have anything fun. Like I'm traveling. I don't have any of my tarot cards or anything like that to like do anything fun. But that was my story. Thank you so much if you tuned in on whatever platform that you may be tuning in on. We've got a few across all the different platforms. So yeah, thank you. If you've got any thoughts around it, I'm open to it. Thanks, Skylar, for all your comments on the TikTok. That's been really interesting and really fascinating to have your perspective. So thank you for sharing that. Really appreciate it. I am going to end the stream because the daylight is leaving and this hotel room has really crap lighting. So I'm going to leave it here and I will see you whenever the next one is. All right, bye. Ending on TikTok.